unmute myself so I can talk to the stream. All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to yet another episode of Crash the Net. I am fine-tuning basically what you guys will be looking at today. So I'm almost done with that. There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, cool. All right, and I'm going to transition now. All right, and you guys should be live. Should be able to hear you.
What's up, guys?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, they can definitely hear you. All right, cool. This is episode 1, technically 2. The pilot, I'm not including that. Like that's like episode 0. It was like I don't know, a tryout, test out, whatever you want to call it. But this is officially the first episode of Crash the Net. And I guess what I'd like to do to get started with every episode is basically do not necessarily a recap of the previous episode, but just like what everybody's been up to, yo. How was everybody's weekend?
Straight. Nothing crazy. Chill. Practicing as usual. Same old, same old.
Yeah, I know. I honestly don't remember really doing shit this weekend. So,
But we got Captain Marvel this weekend.
See, now that is something I have for a later segment, like for tonight. So we'll talk about that. We'll definitely talk about Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Copy that joint.
So I really thought Hangouts did like where you can have like all three.
That's what I thought too. Well, this is our first time using the platform, so it's a work in progress. Honestly, we probably should have did a test run before we started, but I mean, it is what it is. We're here now. We'll figure it out down the road, because I actually have a separate layout specifically for everybody's cam. But the thing is, Hangouts doesn't act like how I thought it would, so it's like I kind of jumped the gun on that. So I'm gonna do my research, and I don't know if this is gonna be the preferred platform that we use for the podcast moving forward with it.
Understandable. Understandable. Oh, I can share my screen? That's crazy.
With who?
Anybody. Like,
Yeah.
What?
Yes, you can.
think I'm joking. Application window. Yeah. I wasn't joking.
Why'd that joke pop up like that?
That's crazy.
That's pretty nuts.
See, we're missing one person. I sent Greg the invite.
Yeah,
Let's
Gregory
see.
is collecting
Jump-
food.
Jump in. This guy, yeah, he's on CPT.
Yeah.
I want to point out. I want to point out. Greg has been online for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I was
Like
cooking
the whole
chicken.
time. I'm watching
My
this dude sit
bad.
here.
Yeah, I was definitely cooking chicken.
Yeah,
You know how that
definitely.
be.
I was definitely whipping up this layout.
Yeah, you know how that be, yo. But
Yeah, I feel bad for EJ because I went through all this and I was like, all right, cool, it's done. I can record. And then EJ joined the chat and I was like, damn, I forgot EJ. His name.
Wait, what
His
happened?
name. Look at the picture I sent in the Discord.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I definitely forgot to put you on the side there. That is purely my fault, but that's how that goes.
I'm looking up, can I split everyone's face in Google Hangouts? Because that's definitely a thing. And so far I'm finding you
Wait.
can. Let me see.
I mean, the real monster though that I'm starting to understand and realize is, classic OBS, when you window capture, you can separate the screen. You can pick, like you can actually do subregions. In OBS Studio, you can't do subregions, so it might not even matter.
Might just have to switch to that
Load
Streamlabs.
up Streamlabs. I don't even know if you can do it in that. I didn't look it up.
I haven't even tried. Let me
Yeah, that's what I'm
let me
saying. Like, I don't
see.
know if it's a thing or not.
Multi-adapter.
Segment 1, technical difficulties.
That's how you know it's a good That's how you know it's a good recording.
We can really start frying through some of these topics when Greg joins. I don't want to like get started without him.
He's a doo-doo.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Melee at?
Yeah, we need to lock the channels.
That's why why we're doing this. We're doing this so that we don't have random neighbors popping in saying
neighbors.
Hello. Yeah, saying hello.
He said glad Melee's not in. I said, oh my goodness. Like this is supposed to be a clean stream.
Gotta be honest though.
I mean, I wasn't mad at it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you kind of went off the handle, but it was honestly entertaining. So it was for
a pilot, it was good.
It was definitely worth it. It was really entertaining. If you have not seen the pilot of Crash the Net, it's on my YouTube channel. Feel free to hop over to YouTube to indulge in that. It's probably the last 30 to 40 minutes of the podcast when that starts up. So definitely check that out. But I guess I can go over another overview of what the show is technically about. We are not just FGC, so we deal with FGC related news, drama, whatever, as well as pop culture and random knickknacks from the human life. So we cover multiple things here. So if you think you're going to come here to hear us nerd out about FGC issues for 2 hours, you're sadly mistaken. We will be talking about other things as well. There's a lot of stuff going on in this world that people capture improperly. It's a lot of fake news going on out there. You know, our president is trying to keep us aware of it, but a lot of people aren't trying to acknowledge it like it's a thing.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know how long Greg is going to be, so I might just go ahead and dive right into some of the potatoes.
Looking like it's about to be just us.
Yeah, we won't go into the main course yet, but we can definitely crack into some of these potatoes, yo. All right, so something relevant to last week's podcast as we ended, there was a massive, I wouldn't say backlash, but a reaction to the EVO organization's decision to not host Melee this year at EVO, and there was a lot of upper echelon Smash Melee players that reacted to it in a bunch of different ways. One that kind of caught a little wind and steam on Twitter and social media the next day was I wouldn't necessarily call it a rant, but there was a video that Armada posted that pretty much detailed ways to continue supporting Melee and what the scene should do from here, that now that the game has not gotten nominated or put into EVO this year. So did anybody other than myself watch that video?
No.
I definitely watched it.
Okay. My thoughts on it personally, I really didn't see too much wrong with what he was saying. I know a lot of people took backlash at the fact that he was saying that certain games and communities had paid spots. Like, that was a big thing that people were reacting to, but I think in the context that he said it, he might have just worded what he was thinking incorrect. Like, that's what I think really happened there. Like, he gave a lot of really positive points for what his community could do now that the game isn't an EVO title. But yeah, I don't know. I maybe I'm on the other side of the fence on that. Like, the FGC like hopped on this dude. Like, it was a hot button issue for at least 2 to 3 days.
Yeah,
it was kind of strong. He made good points, but I think the way he went about it was not the best way. Because you can tell he was kind of sick that Melee wasn't in.
Right.
And I mean, like, you gotta understand, the game's been there for what, 6 years?
I think
right?
it's been there since 2012. If
13.
I remember correctly, since I could have sworn it was there in 2000.
It was the year that they had that what's it called? That like donation drive thing to get your game in.
I'm pretty sure that was 13. But anyway, that's semantics.
Yeah, but a good amount of time
A very
that it was
good time.
there.
Yes.
And they ran their course. It's just how it is. And they have their own like super major. Like they have their own thing. They got a Genesis. And they're just like just sick that they're not at Evo, but every year they freaking complain and cry. They're like, "Oh, they're not treating us right." No, no, no. I'm like, "Okay, if you don't like it, don't come." Like that's the end of it.
Pretty much. Yeah, so it definitely was probably 2013. I'm looking at the list for 2012, and people don't understand how far Evo has come, dog. That year they had 6 games. They had a 6-game lineup.
That was a strong year.
A really, really small lineup. But, I mean, honestly, maybe that could contribute to a bigger problem with Evo as a whole. Maybe they're just having too many games. That could be part of the problem, but this isn't really what the discussion is geared towards, is figuring out how to solve and the issues of Evo. That was more so last week. But as far as it comes to like the Smash community, one thing me and EJ talked about earlier this week was, if your game doesn't make it into Evo, and there's a lot of games that didn't, a whole lot of games that didn't. There's a lot of anime games that didn't make it in. There's a lot of 3D games, like Dead or Alive just came out. That's not an Evo game. Like, you know what I mean? Just because your game is new or your game has been out for a period of time doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be an Evo. That doesn't mean that makes or breaks your community. Like, no community is tied to one single event. Like, that's not a thing. But for whatever reason, people like to give Evo more clout than I guess it deserves, and weighs it with, oh, if your game isn't at Evo, then your game is dead. And that doesn't really make sense to me. If you really like your game, you really like your scene, you got to support it no matter what is going on, what event it's at or whatever, regardless. Especially with a game like Melee, because it started out in a community and a scene that wasn't even necessarily considered to be or a part of the FGC beforehand. So why does Evo have a say in your game being an alive game or a dead game? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, these people didn't associate with the scene at all. They were a completely different entity. And if you really want to go into the semantics about it, Evo picked it up because they needed the numbers. Like, they took these people, they accepted them, you know. And I know there's a whole other can of worms with that behind it, with, you know, the whole Smash 4 debate and the Smash Ultimate debate, saying that, you know, it's a newer game. Generally, with esports games, just like how Armada was saying, usually you'll have a game, it'll be the hot game for a set period of time, set amount of years, until the next version of that game comes out, and then the old version is dead. Where, in this sense, Melee, because it was so different from the newer versions, that the community that solely wanted to supported it, so it survived, you know. And that could happen with any game if you really like it that much. But there's just really no excuse that Evo holds the power to say, oh, well, this is the it game, and if you're not the it game, then this can't be, because there are going to be plenty of other tournaments that are going to host Melee. It's going to be everywhere. I'm pretty sure it's going to probably be a combo breaker. I'm pretty sure it'll be at, like, possibly CEO. I'm not sure of the lineup. I need to look. I need to double check for that for CEO. But outside of FGC events, there's so many Smash dedicated events. Like, you got literally the weekend after Evo, you've got Smash Con. Like, you've got Smash Con the weekend right after Evo, which is considered to be a major Smash event, and it's going to have Melee. So it's not the end of the freaking world. I don't know.
I'm gonna just speak on that. It's mainly because of the prestigious Evo legacy that they have. You know, that being the tournament to go to in the first place. You know, if your game's not there, you're a nobody. You know, that's how they think about it. So if a game's not there anymore, they consider the game being dead, even if it's just a meme. You know, even if it's that moment, like in time where it's announced, if it has that Evo name behind it, it's gonna mean something. You know. Like Eunice, you see how everybody's hopping on Eunice right now.
That's a whole
and
other conversation.
yeah, that I'll save my opinion on
Yeah,
that.
I actually have a segment dedicated to it tonight. So if you're a Eunice fan, definitely stick around the podcast. I got a couple words for y'all.
But yeah, if your game is not there, you're considered dead at that point. And it's mainly just because of the legacy. That's honestly it. Like if Evo is the equivalent to the Super Bowl, if your team's not at the Super Bowl, you're a nobody. So that's what I got to say about it.
And that damn sure ain't true, because
That's not true.
You know that the Rams and the Chiefs put mad work in. I mean, the Rams honestly made it to the Super Bowl,
and that's the same thing with these games.
The Chiefs and the Saints. They did mad work, and even the Browns. The Browns was the worst team in the league. Coming out of nowhere. Like I can actually feel for Eunice in that sense. They're kind of like the Cleveland Browns of the competitive fighting game community. Like, not to say that the game was bad, but from like tournament operator support. Like, how many tournaments could you say off the top of your head actually hosted a Eunice tournament outside of like when the game first came out and was popping? Like when the first game came out, Under Night, like that one, the only tournament I could say faithfully held a tournament for it every time it came up was Big E events. And that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. He actually supported the shit out of that game for a long time. Like, well after people had, like, really moved on from the game. I'm talking about, like, 20-man brackets, man. But he actually, like, hosted it. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I understand I understand the mentality. Like, I understand it. It's like, you're not in the Olympics of competitive gaming. Then it's like, okay, we're not really paying attention to you. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I don't see what gives it the right to do that, because I'm trying to think, like, is golf at the Olympics? No, but that doesn't mean it's not a sport. Yeah, that'd be insane. That would actually be insane.
Just a quick update. Melee is not at Combo Breaker.
It's not. Whoa, shit, yo, is the FGC dropping it?
Yes.
Is the FGC done with Melee?
15 plus years of technology just that doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean?
I mean, in their defense, they have been mostly running it now on like
their own, right?
Real equipment. So no CRTs, none of that old people stuff. Okay, disgusting.
Old people stuff.
They're running it on real Asus monitors.
Yo,
proud of them. But
that's crazy.
Pack it up. Goodbye, Melee.
Like, all this stuff is new to me. Like, honestly, the expert on this subject is going to be EJ, because I don't really pay attention to the Smash side of things. But
yeah, he is our resident Melee player.
I feel like,
I wish,
since they are a part of the community, they deserve to have their news reported and talked about, regardless. I could honestly just brush over the subject and be like, oh, they're just Melee players, but it's a hot button issue right now. This is the talk.
Going into that issue, the way they're trying to solve it is Melee players actually trying to play Ultimate now. Like, if you even go on Twitch right this second, you have a lot of players at Mango's house before Summit trying to play Ultimate and like learn while the top players are at his house. Like Hugs and West Balls is there as well. And you saw him in the initial announcement. He hated it. He hated that Melee wasn't there. He was like, fuck Wizard, fuck everything. I'm not going to Evo, but now he's trying to learn a new game. And this is exactly what I said when they announced it. I was like, just learn Ultimate. It's really good. It's actually a really good version of the game right now. It's probably the most balanced out of the 5 versions that came out so far. It's probably the most balanced.
Now, do you think those people that held on to Melee for as long as they did are like the old man on his porch shaking his fist at the younger children that pass by? Is that what Melee players are now?
I honestly do. I feel like they're the exact equivalent. And a lot of people have said this before, like to Marvel 2 players. It's more technical than these new games. It's so much harder. See how much harder I have to work, blah, blah, blah. I don't get a kill off of one touch. It's the same exact concept, and you just can't let it go. It's impossible.
I'm going to keep it real with you. That shit didn't last long. All those Marvel 2 players that were talking about how bad Marvel 3 was and all that shit lasted maybe 3 months. Maybe. And then what happened? All them dudes was playing Marvel 3. Chris Matrix was playing Marvel 3. Mike Infinite was playing Marvel 3. Sanford Kelly tried it like for a good year, he tried. He hated the shit out of that game, but he tried. You know what I mean? All of them came over, and either one thing happened to another. Either they succeeded with the game and kept with it, or they're like, this isn't for me. This isn't my cup of tea, and they just stopped playing it. Granted, I'm pretty sure these people still do play Marvel 2, but it's just not on a competitive level anymore because the events don't really support the game like that outside of a side tournament.
Exactly.
Now that might actually be the lane where Melee ends up going if it doesn't make the numbers, or it's not even that. It's not even a question about numbers, but if it doesn't meet the echelon of being put on the main stage for these tournaments, there's the possibility that it will be ran as a side event. And if anything, I feel like that's a prime and ample opportunity for the community to step up and put more work into it. Like, if you really want your game to be heard, you want it to be seen, I've seen side events that are lit. Look at Anime Evo. It's like a whole nother tournament inside of another tournament. You know what I mean? They got streams and all that now. Like, there's so much technology out there that you don't need the main tournament operator to support your event or your game for you to thrive. Like, they give you the space. They don't mind. They're like, oh, well, you know, we're not just going to kick you guys out or make you guys play in the bathroom, which quite a few games have had to do before. We've seen quite a few tournaments take place in bathrooms and back alleys, you know, the darker times of the FGC.
Now that you bring that point up, I wonder, see, I was just getting to the FGC around the time Marvel 3 just came out. Like I got into it in 09, so I wonder, I wasn't really paying attention to Evo, if that game was announced and people started trying to play it, not because it just dropped, but because they were actually trying to play an Evo game as well, since Marvel 2 wasn't there anymore.
I'm going to keep it real with you. It's definitely a trend that whatever lineup comes out in games are a part of that lineup, people do gravitate towards those games if they have not played them before to learn them. That is definitely a trend. Though I say it's never been as extreme as it is until now. Like, I've seen it before. I've seen an uptick in it, but like, it's like bonkers this time.
Yeah, it's pretty
like, it's like really crazy. Like Omega crazy. You know, but that's something that I have reserved to talk about in a later segment tonight. Possibly the next segment. We could segue into that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I played Evo during the Marvel 3 days, and I don't remember uptick of people leaving one game to go to Marvel 3, or not necessarily like Marvel 2. It was kind of its own thing at the time. It was like its own juggernaut. You know, people supported Marvel 3 and liked Marvel 3 for what it was, and they came over. They just played it. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it is now, where you got a whole community of people that are like, well, it's not at Evo, so I guess I'll have to play this game. Like, exactly. There weren't really people like that. There were a lot of Street Fighter. Excuse me. There were a lot of Street Fighter heads that came over and played Marvel 3, but they still played Street Fighter. You know, and there was a lot of Marvel 2 heads that came over and played Marvel 3, but they still played Marvel 3. So it was like, I don't know. It's not as extreme as it is now. Like, people are making it seem like if you don't play an Evo game, whatever you were playing before, you're not allowed to play it anymore. Like, they're like, oh, delete that off your hard drive. Trade that game in. Like, you don't need it anymore. I don't know. It's like really extreme. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Very.
I do not understand it, yo. Let me see here. I think what I'm gonna do is, does anybody else have anything to say on the Armada topic and top Melee players' reaction to the Smash announcement?
Not really. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, I feel like there isn't really I feel like the only way we'd get some like diversity in our responses and opinions on it if we had somebody that was like a hardcore Melee player. Maybe we could come to understand. But in future segments of the show, I do plan on bringing guests onto the show for interviews and side opinions. So maybe that'll be something at a later date. We'll find a notable Melee player, somebody that's more in tune with the community, to talk to them about it, so we can get a second viewpoint on it. Because at this point, we just got our views on it. It's from the outside looking in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's literally a trash can fire that we are standing across the street from and watching. Like, there's a bunch of like hobos and crackheads and stuff fighting over the fire, and we're just over there, you know what I mean, inside our shop looking through the window. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna see how it pans out.
It kind of just reminds me of that guy trying to sell the dog at Evo.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That was wild.
What?
That was so. Yeah, I mean, you want to tell that story, Nick? You want to tell the story?
So Kyle went to the AT&T store like the day we got to Vegas from Texas, and we're like, he's trying to get his phone stuff switched, and it's whatever. Like, it's hot. It's Vegas. It's a hot day. So he's inside. I'm outside, just like chilling, and this guy just like comes up. Kyle comes out. He's like pissed off with AT&T,
Yeah, that was.
and this dude just comes up and he's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I like look in this like cart thing he's pushing, and there's a dog, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm like, cool, okay, whatever, cool with the dog." He's like, "Hey, wanna buy this dog?" I'm like, "What? Buy the dog?" I'm like, "What am I gonna do with it?"
Yeah, my man's trying to sell us a dog, man.
Like,
He's trying to sell
fucking
us a
pawn
dog.
off the dog. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What am I gonna do with it?"
Son, my man's gonna legit remove that cocoon that the dog was in. It would have just singed and died, bro. Like, it was hot that day.
I was so sick. I was like, I can't put the dog on the table and bet it. So I was like, I have no need for this thing. I was like, get it out of here.
Well, shit, man. Maybe you could. You go off strip, dog. Mess around with those casinos like the Gold Coast. They'll let you bet anything there, man. Like, honestly.
Oh my goodness.
You got people in there playing for shoes and shit. Like, who knows?
That's next level. Walk outside, see your feet.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that shit's kind of crazy, man.
I will say this, like closing it out, like on my side, since I do play Smash, I like Smash. I'll say like being part of the community. People just need to learn how to play the game. Like, just play the new game. It's like everything comes in cycles, right? It's why are you holding on to something that's literally losing its luster, losing its flair? You know, when the same 5 characters are being played at every single tournament, the cast isn't even viable at this point if you're actually trying to win. Like, at every single tournament, I promise you're going to see the same 5 characters, and I'm willing to put almost any amount on that. So
you wouldn't say the same thing about Central Fiction? Isn't Central Fiction and BB Tag the same argument?
it's a little different. I've seen, like, especially lately, I've been seeing different teams make it to the top 8.
Well, I'm saying is a sense where like Central Fiction is the old game and BB Tag is the new game.
I feel like they're completely different. So I won't say the same thing for that. But when it comes to Smash, I mean, it's a platform game. You know what I mean? You're basing a team game off of a 1v1 situation. So I'm not trying to like compare apples to oranges. You know, I'm just saying like Melee and Smash Ultimate, you know, they can correlate to the point where you can literally drop one game and still feel like you're playing Smash. So I just say to the community, if y'all want to keep your game alive, just keep playing it. But if you want to move on, definitely Ultimate is a good replacement for it. Definitely.
Yeah, like I think my sentiment is no game needs to necessarily be replaced, but as you were saying, it's literally, well, I don't know the intricacies of Smash. I don't play that shit. I'm sorry, y'all, but it's literally the same concept. So it's like,
It is.
you know, try it out, and if it's not your cup of tea, spectate, man. Hey, the badges are cheaper. I've been spectating for like what, 3 years? 3 years of spectating. You know how much money I've probably saved doing that versus like how much I would have won. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not even going to get into that like as a rant. But I had a topic that was what about the melee kids? That was another subject matter I had, but we kind of like dove into that a little bit. What are the melee kids supposed to do now?
The Seiryuu.
And I kind of feel like you answered that. Like you definitely answered that. Those are your options. You know, try Smash Ultimate. If you're not feeling it, hey man, spectate, dog. Play your game. Side tournaments are definitely a viable option, and there are plenty of Smash events, like I was saying too. You know, just because the FGC isn't necessarily supporting the game on a major platform standpoint, there are plenty of other tournaments that do. And they're all over the place. It's not just a U.S. thing. Like, it's international. The game's huge.
Yo, can I add to this? As
Go
I
for it.
kind of like pop in the call.
Go for it.
So I don't really understand. I get the reason for people to be upset, but what I don't really understand is, I mean, Melee has more than enough events that they'll be all right if they're not at Evo. Like it's not the end of the world. It was never going to be in the world if they were in the event or not. But people or Melee players or Melee fans, I don't know because I don't really pay attention to Smash all that much. But like as much as they kind of browbeat and complain about Evo as an event, I totally don't get why they're so heartbroken about it not being there when they have probably better events than Evo. I mean, like there's Genesis, is Apex still a thing? There's the Big House. I mean, there's like more than enough events that Melee looks way more professional than Evo does, and they seem to have like a grand time. So I don't really get too much of why they're heartbroken or upset that they got replaced when there's way more better events that are able to cater to Melee, are there for Melee, will do whatever they need to do to have Melee feel like it's the main event because it is the main event. So I feel like them not being added to Evo just kind of makes it easier on their pockets, and it's one less thing that they have to worry about trying to go to.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
I mean, we definitely went over that last week when we were talking about how, Evo has stepped down from it being a standard. And like I was saying earlier in the call tonight, I don't see it being as big a pillar in the Smash community as they take it. Like you guys came from a community that had nothing to do with us, had nothing to do with the FGC, and it doesn't make sense for you guys to, be welcomed in and accepted in and be like, oh well, since you're a part of us now, this is your main platform. Like this is your mega tournament. Like
right.
nah, that doesn't make sense to me. It needs to be a little bit more organic than that. I don't really know the huge Smash events that are going on. Outside of I remember, I don't know, is Apex still a thing? I don't know if that still is. And what's it called? I know Smash Con and the Summit events and all that, but I'm pretty sure they have their own equivalent. If not now, after this might be the opportunity they needed to come up with an event to replace it. They could do it better. I'm pretty sure they can do it better, way better. Like there are a lot of tournaments out there that could do way better than Evo.
I mean, they've definitely been doing well better before without Evo. And even while they were in Evo, they were probably better.
Exactly.
It's not really a loss, in my opinion.
Like the way I was explaining it was like we needed them more than they needed us. Like that was the thing. Like they came in at a time when it wasn't necessarily that the FGC was dying, but from a number standpoint, we weren't looking too hot, and they really wanted to go into an esports type of mentality with the scene, and with the numbers we were pulling in, that wasn't going to be enough. We needed a little bit more exposure, so we had to bite the bullet and accept the Smash players, not to degrade a certain scene or anything like that, but the higher ups, this is the way they looked at it. There wasn't a thing where like, oh, well, these guys are playing a fighting game too, so we should adopt them and have them be a part of us. Like that's definitely not, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not the way we're looking at it. It was definitely from a numbers standpoint. It was definitely from a we need this esports mentality, so we need as much exposure as possible, so let's absorb this community. That's definitely where it was coming from. Because I guarantee you, if shooting games was more like, a competitive aspect of a fighter, I don't see what would be stopping these tournaments from accepting them too. We've already got like DreamHack was a mashup of everything. You're gonna see more events like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. On the Melee topic, anybody last segments? Any thoughts on that, or you think we pretty much covered it?
That's it with Greg's input, definitely.
All good from me.
All right, cool. This is something I wanted to talk about last week. I have a bigger segment after this one. We're going to do this segment first. So, did anybody here watch Winter Brawl 3D at all?
I watched a bit of the BB tag. Don't ask me why that was there, but it was there. And a little bit of Soul Calibur.
Okay, great. Because this segment actually pertains to the BB tag portion of that tournament.
Oh.
All right. So I watched a little bit of pools, not much, and I watched the top 8 for Winter Ball 3D for BB Tag, and a hot button topic that came out that unfortunately overlapped with the Evo discussion, so we weren't able to talk about it on last week's podcast, was the exchange between Punk and Reno. So basically, to give the people that might not have seen it a quick rundown of what happened. Reno won Winter Brawl 3D. This is his first major win for a fighting game, and he won it all the way through winners. He didn't get put in losers. And in winners finals, he played a set against Punk. It was a close set. It was a 3-2, and he sent Punk to losers. And then on the run back, Punk ran it back. He won losers finals to make it to grands, and in grands he lost to Reno 3-0. Like, it was actually pretty quick.
It was pretty free.
Yeah, he got finessed. You could definitely see that Reno got the download on him. And after the set was done, Reno celebrated. And I guess you can interpret it as you will. He actually got on the mic after the tournament was done to explain the mind state he was in afterwards.
Yeah, I caught that.
He celebrated the fact that he had won a major. You know, it's an accomplishment. You know, for the people that are in the call right now, put your hand up if you've won a major before. None of us. Like, you know, it's something that doesn't really happen often for everyone. It's something that some people are never going to attain. Though it is something that we'd like to accomplish, and it's possible, but it's extremely difficult. It's hard. And it's not one of those things where it's like, you know, people take it away from people when they win certain majors because they're like, oh, nobody was there. I understand that sentiment and that standpoint, but at the same time, it's like, okay, but those people could have came.
Yeah,
they could have went there.
still.
So it's a major's a major. I can't take that away from anybody. You still won, right? But so he gets up and he does a little, I wouldn't even really call it a pop-off. It was more of a celebration, but
Yeah, it was like a celebration.
They look at it like a pop-off, and Punk, it kind of got to him a little bit, especially because he doesn't necessarily claim BB Tag as a game that he plays. It's something he plays on the side, I suppose, because it's not his main game. And he kind of took a little bit of offense to it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, for the topic of discussion, is if you enter multiple games, right? So all of us have what we consider to be a main game. Some of us take it a little bit further than that, where you have multiple games that you split your interest with, and they're all considered to be your main. But if you have a game that you would consider to be your main focus and drive, but you play something else on the side, and let's say you do a little bit better in that side game that you do, if somebody that is passionate about that game, like that is their main game, and they celebrate beating you, should you take offense to that?
Absolutely not.
No.
Negative.
Yeah, I personally don't think you should, especially like, all right, so basically the way I saw it, for him to get upset about it, he either did better than he thought he was going to, or it meant a lot more to him than he thought it did. I'm not going to sit there and get in my feelings about somebody popping off on me with a game that I clearly do not play, because it doesn't even, for anything, I'm just going to be confused. I'll be like, all right, like, you know what I mean? I don't even play this shit. You know, I'm not going to use that OS. Like, I feel like that's an OS, right? Because here's the thing. It was going to be something that was going to happen regardless, right? Let's say that Punk won. Let's say he won the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
What he's going to say in the pop-off for him is not necessarily a pop-off, but a social media post or whatever. He's going to say, I don't even play this game.
Either way, you win.
Exactly. But if he lost, which he did to Reno, regardless of what Reno had to pop off or say, he was going to be like, I don't play this game. It's an OS. Like, it's a double-sided OS.
To add to that, man, like, even when he was on commentary for that little bit during BB Tag, I think on Saturday, I don't remember when, my man literally was just like, yo, I wasn't even planning on coming. I just came up just because, you know, I felt like coming to get away to play from 8.
Yo, what just happened? Oh, I am sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to get that fixed ASAP. Hold on. Let's restart the call. Damn. All right. Technical difficulties, people, is our first crack at this. People should start dropping in soon. Damn. There we go.
Is this one the right one?
Welcome back.
This is the new one.
This is the new one. The freaking I don't even know what happened. Like freaking, like
I was watching the stream and I was like, I think something happened on
Yeah,
your end, but I kept
yeah.
going anyway.
Google Chrome was like meh, and just like exploded. Like,
Just to make it short, I don't think there's any reason for Reno to be upset for celebrating. I personally don't think there's any reason for Punk of all people to be making, in a sense, a fit about somebody celebrating when my man's is always popping off on people and talking shit. Like regardless if it's a persona or not. Like you of all people can't be talking about somebody popping off on you in a game that you play that you made grand finals on if you played or not. Like you come on, like you got known for this. You know, you got known for popping off and shit talking people in a game you play, and you're gonna be mad at the guy who actually plays the game, beats you, and is celebrating for winning his first major. You're gonna take offense to that. Like it doesn't work that way, man. Like you gotta grow some balls. Like you can't dish it out and then be
And not
mad
be
that
able to
somebody
take it.
dished it out. You're like, yeah, like you gotta grow some balls in that end, man.
yeah, nah, I'm feeling you on that point, man. Especially when you've played on like grander stages than that.
Yeah,
Like, something
like,
is
you over here in grand finals of Evo or Street Fighter 5, and
Right.
you're over here complaining at Winter Brawl in grand finals and BB Tag that you can't actually be happy that you just beat me in a game I don't play.
right.
Well,
and my thing
you
is
can't
like,
be over here complaining about
It
this.
can't even be a thing of embarrassment because if you ask like 9 out of 10 players if they watched Winter Brawl 3D or had any clue that he was playing in the BB Tag tournament they're gonna be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So
Right.
it's like it wasn't even like the only reason it got as big as it was is because he reacted the way he did.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
like nobody was even thinking about that.
Nobody
shit.
cared.
Like nobody was, and like for the BB Tag community and like the anime community alike, they all said the same thing. I saw the responses on Twitter when after he posted his rant about it or whatever. They're just like, "Yo, that ain't it, Chief." Like, dude's happy he won
Like-
the tournament.
Omega
no-
soft.
No one
Omega
cared
soft.
about what you think or felt, or like that wasn't even the point.
Yeah, I saw it now. It's just like, yeah, this shit's soft. I was like, I don't know, man. That's just me though. That's just me though. I don't
I
think
don't
it
agree
was
with you on that.
anywhere near as serious as he made it seem. Granted, I have been present for some Reno pop-offs. The one that he did at Winter Brawl was tame. Trust me. We've seen some.
The one at
Boston
was amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
That was a really good pop-off. I'm just saying it. The one that happened at Winter Brawl 3D was tame. That was a celebration. That was not a pop-off. Trust me. If he would have popped off like he did in Boston on Punk, he would have had something to cry about. I'm just saying.
He'd have been sick. He'd have been sick.
I wish it was TOS friendly so y'all could say it, but
Oh,
it's
just
not.
do it.
No,
Hit it.
no, no,
Yeah, just hit it.
nope.
All I'm gonna say is that there was some explicits that were said multiple times, and they were aimed at certain people in the crowd,
Neighbors.
and they tried to put them on us, and we weren't from there, and I was confused.
I heard a couple F words.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple of those.
Couple Bostons in there.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple of Bostons, and
I heard we ain't even from here.
Yeah,
He said it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Great.
You should,
Great.
You should not. All right. Because here's my thing, right? If anything, I feel like he should have felt not necessarily entitled, but he should have felt honored that it might have been a pop off for the fact that Reno would consider him to be a strong enough player to do that on.
People did bring that up also.
You know what I mean? Like if you were a nobody, he just he washed him. Like he washed him the second set.
Oh, yeah, that was free. That
wash.
was mad free. Like
Right,
it was
it-
clear he either didn't play, he hasn't kept up with the game at all. Definitely doesn't crap about Carmine. It was just free.
Right. It was a wash. It was a wash, right? And honestly, it was as free as it was, and he didn't pop off. Like he didn't really pitch to it because it's like, oh, you're just a peon, or you're not on my level, or you're not a thing like that. Then it's like, all right, clearly this dude is like way better than you, or at least a step above you in as far as understanding of the game. Then if he pops off on you, that's like, okay, dude, he's saying that you were somewhat of a challenge. Like it wasn't as free as it looked. You know, respect that. Anytime somebody pops off on me, like it's been a long time since I've gotten upset about somebody popping off on me. Honestly, I think it's hilarious. I think it's really funny, but I came from a different era when it came to FGC. Like, pop-offs were real. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, this is
people,
really changed.
Yeah, people pop off now, but it's like golf claps compared to how people used to pop off back in the day.
It's really tame.
Like, people used to get in your face. They used to grab you. Like,
they get up. Yeah, they put hands on you. Like,
it used to get physical.
Like,
they get physical, yo. Like, I'm trying to think. All right, so who was it? It was the All right, so F Champ. It was a Marvel 3. It was a Marvel 3 money match.
How about the F Champ and
I think Smooth Viper. I want to say it was Smooth Viper. They played, and after Smooth Viper took a game off of him, there's a part where he literally gets up because it was a head to head.
Yeah,
2 different cabs, right? He got up, he went to the other side and grabbed him. Like, he grabbed F Champ's shirt. He physically yoked him up. Like, I'm telling you, like, dude, pop-offs are so tame now.
Yeah, tame now, I think the closest, like, current pop-off that's been, like, close to kind of old school was when K-Brad got in Krone's face after he beat him in Street Fighter 5. That was, like, the closest. Like, that whole rivalry is probably, like, the closest we've had to, like, a quote-unquote real pop-off.
Yeah.
And even that's still tame because, like, you know.
Yeah, it was still kind of esports. Outside of, like, Wolf Krone's response during, what was it? E-League? That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But from, like,
New Age Garmin.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But here's my question for you guys, segueing off of that. Do you feel like the FGC needs that?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, with the pop-offs and all that being kind of absent and missing from the scene, do you feel like it's something missing from the scene?
I think
yes,
how I take it right now, I feel like it's needed, but the problem is everyone's so afraid of how it's going to look, because everyone wants to be all esports and whatnot. Man, if you feel like you gotta pop off. Like, don't be afraid. I feel like people are so afraid to want to actually pop off because people are so busy either trying to chase the sponsors or trying to make it look good. I mean, look, if the pop off isn't going to physically beat the person up, then I mean, like, get hype. Like when I see a pop off now, I'm like, it just looks so fake. It's not. It doesn't feel like a pop off. It's just like, they're just saying something just to say something, because they beat this person. But, like, when you actually see a real pop-off, like, you see the pop-off, you get hyped for it, you want to see more of that. I don't really see that anymore. Like,
I think the last true one I've seen is Shinku at the previous tournament. I forgot which tournament that was. It was earlier this year.
You're talking about Frosties.
That
wasn't really a pop-off, though.
Yeah, the reason why it was a pop-off to me, because it was genuine. He got excited. He won against Seth, and it was mad corny. I do admit that, but I will say it was an excitement factor, like how you're saying Reno did. Right. He got excited. So I see that as a pop off, even though it's not the most visually pleasing visually pleasing pop off ever. So, it's a pop off nonetheless.
So to add to this, because I see Obama in the chat there, EMP Obama, talking about how there's no real rivalries, and I agree. What's the last real rivalry that we've really had? Like, the last one I could think of that's really big outside of the Krone and K-Brad one is probably F Champ and what's
KBR?
Yeah, because everyone obviously either like loves or hates KBR, but like F Champ was probably the most vocal and like mentally vocal, physically vocal about not liking KBR. And when they did that long, I think it was like 1st to 7 or 1st to 10 set, like you could generally see how much of an ass he was to KBR. And like at first, like, yeah, all right, like it's good, like, because that's what F Champ did. Like he regardless how you see F Champ like as a persona, he plays the heel part of himself really good. So like you're seeing him just be an ass to him, and like even for me later on, as they got deeper into the set, like he definitely was taking it like bad. For like, my man just like, I paused the game, gotta give him a game.
Yeah.
Like, like it was really bad. But I mean, he played the heel part well, and it made it entertaining. But like what was the last 1st to 5, 1st to 7, 1st to 10 that wasn't like set up
man.
that was really like what Andre and Unknown.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the unknown Andre, because a lot of these like don't even start with that Goichi shit, Goichi Sonic Fox. That was fabricated. That was fabricated.
That was only hype to the people who didn't know who Goichi was.
Yeah, like we all knew.
Like that first, like at final round, like being there at final round for that whole exhibition, it was hilarious because you see people like Sonic Fox about to watch this Goichi, this Go One dude, and like me and all the anime players, we just like Sonic Fox because he about to get scraped. Like give him like 3 or 4 games. It's about to be scraped.
And the crazy thing about that is the fact that, we all know Goichi from poverty games such as like, DFC and Melty Blood, stuff like that, but he was known because he was playing Street Fighter.
That's what he really got.
That made no sense to me. He was playing Street Fighter 5 and he was making top 8s before he was playing Dragon Ball, and then it's like the moment he started playing an anime game where he came from, people are like, oh, who is this Goichi dude? And all that stuff. It's like the same dude, man. Like
the same thing happened to well, not really the same thing happened, but look at you could say the same thing for Dogura. You could say the same thing for the car player who Ryusei, that because he plays Street Fighter now.
Yeah, he does.
He got 9th at Evo last year. My man just picked up Street Fighter 5 last year.
That's really funny. That's really funny, yo.
I was gonna point out, I definitely was on the come up for that final round, Sonic Fox and Goichi match.
Oh, I remember that, yo. There was definitely some.
I definitely was not there.
He was here.
Hilarious. It was hilarious.
It was
hilarious.
There was a whole lot of colorful Monopoly currency that was being passed around after the events of that.
All I'm saying is that early on, everyone was hyped because Sonic Fox was winning. Once Goichi started winning, all that got quiet. All that shut up.
Yeah,
real quick.
It went down here really fast, yo. It went down here really fast. But like, I think what can going back to the topic at hand, what contributes to it the most, with there not being actual rivalries or like what we consider to be a real hardcore rivalry, I think a part of the problem is the games. It's kind of hard, like we consider most of these new age games to be a little whack compared to like what we played before, but it's in their nature. It's like it's hard to establish a rivalry when, for one, people are a lot friendlier than they were back in the day, and people don't take the games anywhere near as seriously as they used to, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that people don't, because there are definitely people that take the games really competitive and are super eager to get better and are trying to win, but I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't care. Like, I honestly feel like a lot of people don't care.
I think,
and it's like, if you really want me to pop off or like get mad at somebody for beating me, or me really want to beat somebody's ass in something, I'm gonna need a little bit more.
Like, to add to that, because I definitely think a lot of the current games are really either boring, whack, trash, whatever you want to call it, like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball obviously was hyped because of the name sake for it, which is cool. But like, I can't watch Dragon Ball anymore. I can't play that game. Watching is really boring. So all right, what else we got left? We got Street Fighter. Well, we know where Street Fighter's going. That's a hit or miss. So let's move on from Street Fighter. We got BB Tag. I can tolerate BB Tag, but do I really want to play BB Tag? Not really. So all right, so let's go to Under Night. All right, Under Night's a game that I can actually watch and play, but nobody wants to play the game. Until now, but we're not going to get into that. But
I actually have a segment geared towards that. That's probably the next segment, so we'll talk about it.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you look at the choices that are the games that are supposed to be the big popular games. I mean, outside of Under Night, Tekken, what else we got left there? I mean, if you're you don't, for at least for me, it's not much else I would really say I would want to sit down and watch or play. Primarily, it's just Under Night, Tekken, BBCF, and yeah, I guess KOF, but KOF has its own little issues, but I would definitely play KOF over like Dragon Ball or Street Fighter at this point.
Right. Nah, I feel you. Like, I feel you on that. I don't know, man. It's just really soft, man. It's just really soft. I kind of feel like a lot of people don't take pride. Like, I feel like that's a part of it. I feel like rivalries were created because people were confident in their play. And when somebody tried to challenge that or make it seem like what you were doing was whack, that started a rivalry up. Like these people, like I remember old school rivalries, man. People used to hate people, man. Like it was legit hate. You disdain this person. You don't like this dude at all.
And you gotta be next to the person if you gotta play him too.
Like we walk outside, we're not cool, man.
Yeah.
Like we're not cool at all. The moment we get on the sticks, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like that was a thing. But now it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of like undertones, like in cliche shit. Like, you know, in somebody's mind they don't like somebody, but when they're around them, they play it off and they're cool and it's like whatever. But it's a lot more nonchalant than how it was before. I don't know. It's just the way the FGC is now. Like, did we grow out of rivalries?
I don't think we grew out of rivalries. I think the problem is that like I said, everyone's just too afraid to want to speak their mind because everyone's trying to be all esportsy and, you know, watch where they step or watch what they say because either somebody wants to not have it like reroute back to what they said on Twitter or on social media, or they're looking out for trying to get a sponsor. But then it's just like, can you really do that when you have people like Chris G and F Champ and other top players saying these wild ass opinions and still getting sponsors? Like, you at some point you gotta just kind of have to stop trying to tiptoe around what you know you're going to do or say and just be yourself. And I feel like that's part of the fabrication that's been going on, is that people are not really worried too much about rivalries or starting rivalries because again, people want to be sponsored. Like I get it. I mean it's obviously something that would be nice to have, but because people are chasing that, or you know, in top of people like watching their every move on social media, people just don't really say too much unless they really don't care.
I think just speaking on that as well, on top of what Greg was saying, it's social media as well. I think that plays a big part in it too, because that's what honestly stops most rivalries from even happening. Like, for example, let's say, you know, Punk actually approached Reno right then and there, and they had like a little squabble on stage. You know, that could have been resolved right then and there instead of it going to the mic, to Twitter, you know, through all these tunnels. You know, if you actually have a problem with people, you can tell them right then and there, and that's what could start something. Not in a negative way. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Like, I don't like how you were saying, Kyle, I don't like the way you play. You know, I think you're whack. You know, you want to put money on this? Well,
right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can tell them right then and there. You don't have to wait. You don't have to go on Twitter, have Twitter fingers, and then say something. Like, honestly, that's how I am. If I have a problem with you, I'm gonna tell you.
Let's get on the damn sticks, bruh.
That's a big problem also, is that everyone is so quick to run off to Twitter to say something. And it's just like, yo, like you're right next to the dude. Just tell him, or just talk to him. Like, why you gotta go to your phone? Because you're walking away from the person. Why you gotta go to your phone, tell them, or say something like right then and there? And it's just like, bro, you're right. You're in the same vicinity. You're not in California and I'm in New York. Like, you're right in the same venue. Why are we talking across? You know, why are we being so afraid to just be like, yo, like, you're trash, or I think you're trash? I mean, you know, people used to do that. It wasn't that long ago. People would be like, man, I can't believe you lost to this. This is you're trash. And, I mean, people used to do that like on the regular night. Like, I feel like Marvel 3 was honestly the last time people really like did pop on.
That was the game.
I will definitely give credit to Marvel 3 for that. Not necessarily because the game was volatile, but the crowd that it attracted, people were confident in their play enough so that if they felt like your shit was doo-doo, they were going to call you out for that. Like, that was a thing, yo. Like, that was definitely a thing. Virgo. PG Virgo. The narrative definitely, like, and I was saying that, but the thing about it is even though the narrative would have been different, the OS still stands. Like, if he would have won, he would have been like, wow, I won BB Tag. I don't even play this shit. Like, he would have said that. And because he lost, he was like, I don't understand why people's popping off on me. I don't even play this game. Like, it's literally an OS. Like, it hits both sides of the spectrum. Like, it's, I don't know. It's fucking stupid.
That
like,
shit's
it's
whack. It's so fucking whack.
Stupid, yo.
He's not allowed to do that. That's my cop out.
That's your cop out. Yeah, Nick has been doing that for the past like 2 decades. So, you know, you can't use the I don't play this game.
Yeah, I've been retired since I started playing, so
can't do that. But I don't know, man. I definitely think it's a byproduct of social media. The game is being whack. And I don't know, there's a lot of sheepism going on. I don't know if you, because it's to the point now where if somebody has an opinion or a group of people think it is sus, like they like oust people on social media. Like if you put your opinion on social media, you're going to get attacked. You're going to be put on scrub quotes. You're going to be out there. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like for people to have what people would consider to have or be suspect opinions, you got to back it up with your play, yo. You got to back it up with your play. Like, if you really want to put your opinion out there and you feel like you're right, which you should, everybody should like themselves over other people. I would never do that as a competitor, is be like, oh, yeah, well, I like this person more than me.
Can we talk about that? Because there's definitely a lot of people nowadays who I feel like they're just not confident in their play. They tell themselves right out, like, yo, I'm like, so let's bring up final round for that case because it's coming up next week, I believe. You know, we're in that time where everyone's ready to see pools, right? Because everyone wants to scout out who's in their pools and kind of prepare or just see if they're going to play a top player, right? So everyone looks at pools. You look in your pool and people are like, yo, I got such and such in my pool. Well, guess I'm not getting out the pool. And I'm like, well, damn. We ain't even in the tournament yet. Like,
you're not even there.
Confident yourself that you're gonna get out. Like, I need you to be like, yo, like, who are these people? Like, so when I tell people, when I'm down here in Florida and we go to like CEO or people are like going to a tournament, right? They're like, you know, obviously we all scope out the brackets, and they do that. They're like, yo, I got such and such in my pool, man. I don't know if I'm going to make it out, or I'm going like, well, better get ready to go through lose. I'm like, yo, you ain't even got to the tournament yet. You worried about that one person. You might not even make it to that person because that guy that you might fight first might put you in the losers. But you're not supposed to think that way. You're supposed to think like, yo, I'm about to just get out the pool. I'm about to just cruise on out the pool. And I keep telling people like, yo, don't worry about who's in your pool. You can see the pool. You can scatter who's in your pool. Look up games on if you do whatever you want. But like in the end, you still got to tell yourself, yo, like I'm about to fucking get out this pool because that's what I'm going for the tournament for.
People
you can't just be sitting here and be like, oh, well, I'm out.
Legit been saying that shit for fucking shit since I've been in the FGC. I've been in the FGC since like 2006, and there have been people that'll like it's granted it's nowhere near as bad as it is now. Like back then it was there, but it's like really bad now. But there are people that'll look at the bracket and be like, oh shit, you know, I got Chris G in here. Well, I guess I'm going home. Like, what's the point of you spending all this money to go to these tournaments or these events to run into a roadblock? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Especially because we're all human. You know, granted, there are top players. There are people out there that are really good. It's the same thing with athletes. You know, there are really good athletes out there. That's like me being, you know what I mean, on a professional basketball team. And, you know, there being a forward on the opposite team that's really good and being like, well, you know what? I'm not even going to guard this dude because he's faster than me. He's stronger than me. He can jump higher than me. So what's the point of me even covering him? So they're just going to score on us for free. Why am I there? Why am I here?
The sports, like someone being on a sports team and just think like, oh, damn, this dude's like twice my size and twice my muscle. I guess I'll just let him score every time because I can't guard him.
That shit would be
what?
Ridiculous.
Feeding yourself.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy, dog. And I don't know. For me, if you guys have boys, like for all y'all on Streamland, if you got boys that compete in tournaments and they're saying shit like that, you are a bad friend if you allow them to get away with that shit. Like, honestly, because you're literally saying it's okay for them to throw their money at people.
I tell that to people I don't even know. If I just hear it, I just straight up like, what are you talking about? Talking about like, well, ready to go 0-2. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why are you even playing if you're going to go 0-2? If you're going to go 0-2, don't enter. That's the same as going 0-2. You just going to go 0-2 every game then.
Well, if you do go 0-2 because it happens, somebody's got to lose. At least learn from it.
Granted, like, if you go 0-2, yeah, but like I don't want you to go into the actual damn tournament and you're like, well, guess I'll go 0-2. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Like you already set yourself up for failure. Yeah, at least try.
I don't understand it. Like that's something that I've never understood since the dawn of time. Me and Coma have talked about it like a million times where it's like, because they would always ask me, they're like, all right, you're not entering a tournament. Why aren't you in a tournament, Kyle? I'm only going to enter a tournament when I feel that I'm obligated and ready and prepared to win that tournament. I'm not going into a tournament to be like, well, guess I'm going to see how I do. Or, you know what I mean? Or if I'm out of practice, I'm not going to put myself in a bracket and play against people and not be able to give them my best. I feel like I'm cheating people. That's me personally. But these people out there will throw these, like a typical Evo trip, like leaving from the East Coast to Vegas, right? You're gonna spend anywhere from $300 to $400 on a plane ticket, so that's already like $400, right? then let's say like you get your hotel just for that weekend. Let's say that you don't even stay a week. Let's say for the 3 days that Evo is happening, you stay for that weekend. You're gonna spend anywhere between $500 to like $700, like including resort fees and shit. So you're already over $1,000. You're $1,100 now. Then you enter Evo, that's gonna be $100. So you're like $1,200 now. Food, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, you're spending about $2,000 to be like, oh well, you know, Chris G's in my bracket. I'm just gonna go 0-2. That doesn't make sense to me. Why are you gonna waste all that money? Like, I don't know. Me personally, I understand that money is a means to an end, and it doesn't mean the same for everybody. But for me, money's freaking important, and I'm not just gonna throw it out if I don't see a point in going to something. You know, I don't know, man. These people, yo. We're actually gonna segue into the next segment because I actually let this one run on way too long than it should have, but it was
that can go on
good.
for a while.
That was a really organic conversation. That is something that we might have to get back to. But the next topic that I definitely wanted to get into was let's talk about the Eunice blow up. Like,
yes, let's talk about that because I was
Please.
actually going into that a little bit earlier this morning.
I'm going to put my 2 cents and start this joint off. Me personally, I don't like it.
I don't think it. Let's be honest. I don't think anyone really likes it.
This shit is whack.
I don't think anyone that's already part of the Under Night community pre-Evo announcement really likes it. It just Majin Obama was the one that actually had the balls to say it and have some reasoning to back up why he didn't like it.
I don't even play Eunice, and I'm labeled as the designated hater for the area. Like, I hate on everything. Like, that's what it is. But I think it is really dumb on a bunch of different formats. I feel like it's Evo's fault. I feel like it's the community's fault. I feel like it's Sheep's fault for Evo to have so much power to be like, all right, well, this year as a main game and on the main stage on Sunday, we're going to have dive kick. We're not having melee, we're going to have dive kick. And all the melee players being like, well, I guess I got to learn dive kick now. Oh shit, dive kick's a good game. Like, that is the dumbest thing. Like, I cannot fathom
It's the worst.
how freaking salty it makes me. And it's such a 50-50 lane, a 50-50 street, because Eunice is a good game. I can't be mad at French Bread making money now because there are people that are sheeping after it and coming to the realization that it's a good game. Granted, let's find out in the long run that after Evo is done, let's see if these people are still playing Eunice afterwards. That's the real question.
Test.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, you know, is Eunice a good game up until you get knocked out at Evo, then it's trash? We're going to find out in the future. You know what I mean? But it is really sad that Evo has the pull and the power to take these people, these players, and recognize a game that's been here the whole time. Eunice isn't going nowhere.
They've been making noise since Unio.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
we got upset that didn't get in the end. Well, I think it was 2015 that people were mad that they didn't get in because like it was like, yo, like new game, the community's there, and you know, like yo, like let's get the shot. And Wizard was just like, we don't feel like the community's, you know, there. It's just not the time. You're like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, this
Okay.
mess bogs my mind, bro. Do you know how fucking annoying it is for me to go on Twitter and scroll down my TL and see all these people talking about, you know, Eunice is actually a good game. It's actually kind of fun. For these
We've been
people.
saying this
Like it hasn't been
for
months.
like 3 years at the minimum.
It's been like 3 weeks of this shit, man. I don't know if I can take it, dog. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
honestly
annoying.
don't.
3 years at the minimum, people have been shilling this game.
Yeah,
Why all of
Eunice
a
is a good game, guys.
Why all of a sudden now
Oh my
everybody
God.
wants to listen because it's in the Evo lineup? Like what's the reasoning? So that's what I'm saying. Like, so if Evo didn't get it in the lineup, would you have played it? Because my answer would be to answer for you, no, because it's not in the Evo lineup. But now that's in the Evo lineup, oh, I guess I'll give this game a shot, despite the fact that everybody that's played the game has been like mad vocal on social media talking about why it's a good game, so shilling out the tutorial, shilling out the game, shilling out why this is good, shilling out why if you don't like Street Fighter 5, you should try Unis because it's a very ground-oriented game, and nobody gave a shit half the time. Now it's an Evo, and like, oh, I guess they're right. I guess I'll give this game a chance, right? Okay.
I see people
all
out
right.
there that are legit
Guess it's
like,
not too anime now to play.
they're just legit like, yo, this shit is better than Street Fighter. And I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like,
Guess it's not too anime enough to play now, right?
Come on, son. Come on, son. All it took was the sacrificial lamb of Melee being an Evo for people to be like, oh shit, let me try Eunice.
That's all I
Like,
needed.
That's fucking crazy. I can't do it. Like I literally can't do it, man.
Wild.
It is like an absurd level of sheepery. Like I cannot put up with sheep as it is now, but it's like another level, like a whole nother level of sheep where
It's
people are
definitely
like,
too much.
oh well, yeah, I guess play Eunice now. Eunice is actually kind of a good game. It's like, dog, oh my good, I have been playing it, but like, I understand.
It's
I sympathize with the
obvious.
community. Did people not watch Climax? That shit was godlike.
And of course,
What?
look. Let me go find this tweet I actually said earlier because it describes in a nice way how I feel about it because again, like after Unis didn't get in last year, obviously the community was upset. We didn't bitch about it. We were just like, yo, let's just go in harder. So then that's how the combo breaker came out really good because everybody was like, yo, like, well, if they're not going to be at Evo, let's go to the tournaments that are clearly going to support the community. And Rick was obviously willing to support Under Night, so Under Night did a real good turnout there. And then Jabali's always down to help out the anime guys, so CEO and CEO Taku did really well. And then Shinobi with Climax. I mean, I wanted to go to Climax. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time for it because I spent all my time everywhere else. But I definitely wanted to go to Climax, and it turned out really good. Yeah, like, I didn't think it would be that good, but it turned out amazing.
Definitely kind of lit. Like a part of me kind of wishes I went, but at the time I was on the Alpha BB tag, so I didn't really have a reason to travel down.
I was definitely trying to go.
But just to get to the tweet, I'm just like, yo, like are people just? It's not that people didn't know that Under Night was a good game. It's just people have selective hearing, and the selective hearing is very green lately. It's been very green the past few years, actually. So now there's a little more green, and for whatever reason, there's some green now. And I guess now we can hear that Under Night's a good game. Don't know why, but yeah, that's how we all know. We just don't want to say it, but we all know that there's some green thrown into it. Now it's a good game. Guess I'll try it out now.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see how long this shit's gonna last.
I know.
I'll be glad when it's done, cause I'm getting tired of muting people, man. Like I cannot wake up and look at my TL anymore and see people that I've never heard from before get retweeted or that are like, yo, real talk.
This game is good.
This Under Night game is kind of good, yo. It's kind of good. Considering people have been playing it for almost 2 years now with the JP version, and
if you want to be real, it's been like at least 6-7 years.
Yeah, and then it's like the English version came out how long did the English version?
It came out the week before Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it was like a year ago. It's been a year. Oh,
it's been about a year.
I can't, man.
Like, it's not new news. People actually, like before the American version, people were they were shilling this game out. Everyone was obviously talking about how good the tutorial is. The tutorial is really good. The game is not overly hard to get into. You can learn it at a basic level and still get a good understanding of what to do. But I mean, hey. Like I said, people have been shilling this. It got to the point, me as a player, I got tired of hearing about it because I'm just like, yo, all right, I get it, we get it, it's a good game. But I already played the game, so it don't really affect me too much. But I'm just saying, like the amount of people who after a tournament, after Combo Breaker, yo, play Unis. Here's the stuff. Here's the Discord. Here's the tutorial's really good. Here's listen to this. There's all these docs. Go read this. And then after CEO, same thing. After Evo side finals, same thing. Like it's not like like I said, it's not like people haven't been throwing the game at people's faces. People just choose not to hear it.
Right. And it's just, like I said, really sad that it takes an event like Evo to have the power and sway for people to actually try something else that's outside the box. I don't know. So basically what we're trying to say is that Evo is like the freaking Jesus Christ of the FGC, bruh. Like it's literally sacrificing itself for the peons.
And
So
you know
mean
how
to
many
tell
people
me
are gonna take Samurai Showdown seriously because of that same issue?
I think that's actually a
yeah.
different case, honestly. But I mean, people definitely know what Samurai Showdown is. There's definitely a lot of people who don't know what Samurai Showdown is. I don't think that will get the case for that game, only because a lot of the old, if anything, the old heads will come out for it because they know Samurai Showdown. But new
Right.
faces,
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I don't think Samurai Showdown will actually get the same type of treatment.
Yeah, I
as,
honestly
Under
think
Night.
Samurai Showdown is kind of a meme right now. It's more like the how did this get
I'm
in
so
type of game.
confused why it's a thing, but
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
kind of
let
feel
him go
like
off
if
with
we
it.
were to go with a pie chart of the FGC, I'm pretty sure 70 to 75% of people are just like question mark when it comes to Samurai Showdown.
This is my 2 cents on this shit. All right, I can say like everybody in this chat right now, even the Twitch chat has played multiple games when it comes to fighting games, right? And I feel like we've tried a number of games to the point where, you know, we have a pretty good repertoire of games in the first place. Why aren't people trying games that, you know, are focused on anime? Like they're like, oh, anime fighters are actually good because of Eunice now that they're playing it. Why are you Xing out a whole genre of games just based on
You want to know
the
why?
stigma?
You want to know why?
That's crazy to me, you know?
You already named one, the stigma, whatever the stigma is at this point. The stigma. 2, there ain't no money in anime. I mean, it's only just recently we just kind of somewhat started to get some notice, I guess, if you want to say that.
Don't lie to these fools, man. You're gonna sit there and you're a player. You're fucking hard
Look,
out, dog,
look,
and you're gonna
look,
win
man.
maybe $500,
Look,
maybe.
Look,
Oh,
regardless,
my God.
FGC not making it's not making mobile money. So either way, it don't make no difference.
Yeah,
So
they don't, but like anime
but-
is like omega poverty, though.
But I'm just saying, like, you mean you remember the whole blow up that just happened, like I don't know, maybe like a month ago when Kohime was a thing, because I remember that because I actually kind of as much as I hate blow up Tuesdays, I kind of helped start that only because of the I added to how like all the excuses that people make to not try a game out, and like the biggest excuse that I hear for like games like Arcana Heart and Kohime is because it's an all girl cast. Yeah, but these is gonna be the same dudes who gonna oogle and fondle over every Street Fighter female that's in the game. They got an outfit on, and it's just like, but you won't play Kohime where, you know, they're playing with like weapons and most of them are relatively dressed compared to like, I don't know, Tammy.
Look, Greg. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm only in it for like the 15 Chun-Li costumes.
Jeez,
that's it.
Man.
It's definitely like 26. You know, it's fine.
Chun-Li is a DOA character.
All
at this point.
I need to play Street Fighter 5.
Meanwhile, Urian barely has 4 anyway.
Look, it doesn't matter.
Right,
Chun-Li got what she needed.
Exactly, because the way I look at it, man, we gotta be real with ourselves right now, dog. When I'm playing a fighting game, I'm always playing female characters now. I used to play the dudes too, but you know why the dudes don't get costumes? I'm not trying to look at the dudes.
Look,
you know what I mean? I'm looking at the females.
Why do you think why do you think me and Nick play female characters in Final Fantasy 14?
I can't comment on that.
Dudes don't get the actual holiday stuff. They don't get the good holiday stuff.
All their stuff's trash.
Yeah, it all sucks.
I'm not trying to wear that subpar gear. I'm trying to like fight shit. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying the same thing applies here.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand what you're getting at. But yeah, man, this Eunice blow up, man. Like, all right. So basically, what you're telling me is all we need is for Evo 2020, right? They're gonna announce DFC Ignition and they're gonna bring it back, and everybody's gonna be playing DFC.
I hope
is that
they
what
do.
it is? Is that what you're telling me?
Do.
All you're gonna need is Wizard to be like, yeah, we're supporting Aqua Plaza, and people are gonna play Aqua Plaza. Is that what you're telling me? Because right now you're telling me that Evo's word is in solid gold, and all they gotta do is support some. These dudes could have picked up Fortnite Monopoly, and they'd have had everybody playing it. Like, come on, man.
That'd be awesome.
Real talk. I'm trying to play.
Yeah, this shit is wild, man. I honestly can't put up with it, yo. I'm down for my unit stands that have been playing that shit since it came out, but you newbies out here that are playing it, We'll see in a couple months if you're still playing this shit. If you're still true to it after taking your L's, after taking your ass whoopings, all right, I got respect for you. I can consider you to be a part of that community. But until then, I'm looking at it with a grain of salt, bro.
Y'all are sheep.
I'm sorry.
Straight
I'm
up.
sorry.
You having it less time than me. I give the benefit of doubt and wait till Evo. Like if you still playing a month after Evo,
Right.
you got me.
This shit is absurd, bro. I honestly, it's always happened, but it's never been like this is huge.
Oh no,
Like,
it's definitely huge for this game all of a
like
sudden.
it is huge, dog. Like people acting like that shit wasn't out, for the past 4 years. They're acting like it's a new game.
They said, "Oh my god,
This
is amazing."
There are people that making it seem like Under Night came out like a month ago. There are definitely people that are acting like that, yo.
It didn't come out a month ago.
Oh Jesus, I can't, man.
Wait. When did the PC port come out?
It was a couple
PC
months
came
ago.
out- Yeah,
What,
it
like
just
6
dropped
months?
a few months ago.
Yeah, it was
3
like-
months ago?
I think it was with Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it was like a while ago. Yeah, the PC
And the PC
port?
port is solid.
It is. 'cause,
PC
Hold
and
on. Is it 3
PS4
months ago or when Dragon Ball came out? Which one?
So the US version came out. The US version of the PS4 Under Night came out right before Dragon Ball. The
Yeah, it was a
PC
year
version
ago.
came out like around summertime.
Yep.
Like a little bit after Evo, I think.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah.
So you telling me nobody was hyped for the fucking game when it got re-released for a system that almost everyone has, but
The
they get hyped for it after the announcement? That's bullshit.
the main
That's
community
what
was
I'm
hyped for it. And mind
yeah,
you, the game has been on sale constantly,
Mhm.
on and off on both PC and PS4.
PC came out August 20th, 2000.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
there you go.
saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
So a
if
few
I was,
weeks after Evo.
if I was fucking French bread, dog, you know what I'd have did? I'd have raised the price of that motherfucker, bro. I'd have been like, all right, Under Night, latest, dog. I'd have made that game like $80, dog, all platforms. So you
Yikes.
said you sheep, we're
I
gonna
agree.
cash in on these weebs, bro. Let's go, cash in
Yeah,
on
they-
these sheeps
Yeah, they live for it.
immediately with the fast way. Generally when shit like this happens, they put the games on sale and they cut the price in half. I would have doubled it. Time to make our money, bro. Time to make our money. You
Yeah.
want to see Under Night and Birth 3? You want to see the 3-peat? I'm gonna need that bread, bro.
Well, now we definitely might get one with all the sheep.
You
Well,
know?
they already said an update's coming. That's about as much-
Easy.
Yeah, they
Well,
already
it's
happy.
kind of
I'm
been
happy.
been a while though. Like I feel like wasn't that confirmed like at least
It
a
was
couple,
it was
like,
confirmed
months
at the
ago?
end of climax.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
good. Even better.
you gotta realize this French bread. They don't got money like that, man.
Yeah.
So that's what I imagine if we were to get something or some type of announcement, then it'd be at Evo.
And it's
Goodbye,
funny because
Wagner.
it's like 50-50 on it. Because it's like, we got, well, not even 50-50. It's more like 70-30, but it's whatever. But 70% of the people are the sheep people. The other 30% of the people hating on it because they're like, oh, well, Under Night's only in because they shilled out money. Are you fucking kidding me?
What money?
There are people saying this. There are
You're
people
like, yeah, that's what
saying
I'm saying. I'm like,
that,
y'all
that-
crazy.
that
Like,
French bread paid money to Wizard to get the
Yeah.
game in the lineup. Are
Yeah, I
you
hear
kidding
saying-
me right now?
I hear saying French bread and
They're
SNK
crazy.
paid
It's-
Wizard.
It's all that French red money from people actually buying Melty Blood, like the
Shit.
original.
Shit.
I definitely had that shit on like a shitty laptop.
Dog, I ain't
Yeah,
buying
you
that
definitely
shit.
didn't pay for it, did you?
My man's used to lug around his trash ass Dell that he had got that joint on, and I don't even know if he bought the game. He probably downloaded that shit. I don't know. And he's trying to get me to play it, and I could not fucking stand Melty Blood. That shit was up there like super turbo for me. I hated that goddamn game.
Somebody told me you could run that shit on a toaster. I believe it.
Honestly, you
They
could play.
don't-
You could play Melty Blood on almost anything.
That's why they play it on almost anything.
Yeah, yeah. You see the setups they bring to like everything. They were like, hey man, I brought my Dell Tough book. And
Yo,
Dog, I think I've legit
we better set
spotted.
up.
I think I've legit spotted multiplayers playing that shit in a fucking porta potty, dog. Like I'm pretty sure I've seen it before. I've seen it all.
every year in the anime suite, these motherfuckers are playing on the toilet. I get it's a meme, but
There aren't any plugs in there.
people be doo-dooing on that
Like,
seat, man. Y'all playing on that's gross.
Like, how the hell do you get it to run in a porta potty, bro? There's no outlets in there, man.
now let it rock.
That's
Let-
crazy.
let that shit
I-
rock.
I don't
That
know,
is
man.
gross.
I don't know, yo. I don't know. Do you guys think that this blow up for Eunice is a good or a bad thing for that community?
Let me
Dude,
speak.
both.
Let me speak on this. Let me speak on this. Let me speak. I got it, boys. Let me go
Oh,
first.
okay, go.
Please.
All right. So, one part, I'm fucking ecstatic that the game is getting an outreach to the point where they're gaining more money. I'm absolutely happy about that. I'm happy. I'm also happy about the players getting more people to play against. Let's say if these new players get to a level where, you know, they have more matchup experience, let's say there's a lack of certain characters. Now that more people are playing, they might get more experience with said characters, right? But the only thing that's terrible about it is these people not being accepting of the game in the first place. I think that's bullshit. Honestly, if it's a good game, it's a good game. You know, that's my take on it.
Yeah, nah, I feel you on that. I think that in the long run, it's a positive thing for the US community, because I look at it this way, right? We're getting more exposure and more money poured into that game. That's always great. It's always good to get exposure. Then at the same time, the diehard stands that have been playing Unit since the start get to reap the rewards off these sheep.
Yes.
They're making money off of them. So it's like, at the end of the day, who's really losing outside of the people that are shilling the game now? You know? That's just my take on it. So I don't know. I don't really see too many negatives outside of like people from us. Well, for me, some of y'all play Under Night. I don't play that shit. But for me, looking at the outside in, it's a little annoying to see this. Like, I'm probably the only person really getting hurt by it. But for the community itself, I think it's definitely a positive.
Shit, you're not the only one. I don't like it. Because I play anime, and the fact that people are like, oh, anime's not that bad is fucking annoying.
I don't mind it. I talked to Koma about it briefly the other day before it got announced. And I mean, I was kind of like how we are now. I'm like, I really don't like it, but I get it. But like, regardless if it got into Evo or not, it wouldn't have changed the core community, which in the long run is what, in my opinion, really matters for that game anyway. Because even if they did get into Evo, it would have been mad. No one really would have been like, nobody's gonna make an outrage about it. But it just means everyone else is gonna go hard in every other event, like they all have been doing. So the fact that they're getting exposure and technically more money from all the the would be or soon to be players at upcoming events and tournaments, sure. I mean, if y'all want to fill Red Blade and Squish's pockets, sure, I'm all about it.
Go for it.
I'm definitely going to be all on the side of Red Blade and Squish if they're in top 8 or in grand finals and they're fighting someone like Punk or Sonic Fox. Granted, Sonic Fox was playing.
Or Jam.
He was definitely playing it before. Like Sonic Fox played the original.
Yeah, Sonic Fox is definitely like one of the. Sonic Fox is definitely one of the few that I'll you can't really like badmouth, because he definitely will try out. He's kind of, if anything, he's definitely like the new age Justin, where he will try out a bunch of different games. And I mean, he was definitely running shop in Unio, because people did not know the Carmine matchup, and I mean, it fits his character, his setup character. But so for him to come back, it's great, because he was playing Unis earlier. He was playing Phonon when the game first dropped, and then he stopped playing, and now he's back and he's playing Wagner now. So like, I know. Yeah. So I mean, like for Sonic Fox, it's a different case because he was kind of already playing it. I mean, he played Persona, for goodness sakes. So yeah, so like Sonic Fox, you kind of can't include him in something like that, but like like the Punks or the Justins or whoever else from other community, I'm happy for them to come over and play it. It's not like they can't play it. I'm more, if anything, for them coming over, I'm more happy for more cross
CF players.
No, for cross game players, like people coming from Dragon Ball or from Street Fighter or from another game to come and play under. Like I like stuff like that, because most of the anime players won't cross over to play Mortal Kombat or Injustice to play Sonic Fox or one of their big known players. But then some of those guys might come over and transition to play Under Night, and they might do all right. You want to see how they play against, like, I don't know, Red Blade or Squish or LPT, whoever else is really good in that game.
Adds a layer of diversity to the scene.
Yeah.
And that's always necessary. Well, not necessary, but it's warranted. Like, we always like to see that.
So let me ask this real quick, guys. Do you guys think that it's just Eunice that's becoming like this Evo standard of people hopping on a game, or
it's never been like that?
Yeah, I feel like it's not anything new, but I feel like it's never been this big.
Yeah,
like,
the reason I'm asking, right, is because when CP at the time, when CP got announced to be a main or what is this, main game or side Evo game, like an anime Evo?
Well, I can say this, right? So this is something that people are used to and accustomed to when it comes to like patches. Like when a game announced that there's going to get a patch or a new character or anything like that. So what I can relate this to is when CF wasn't at last year's Evo, but the Evo before that. So we're talking about what, 2017? At the end of that tournament, when they showed the announcement trailer for the patch and for Jubei, do you know how many people were playing that fucking game that week after it came out? I remember L.I. Joe was playing CF.
Everybody all of a sudden.
That was a crazy time.
Wackest freaking Hakumen I have seen in my life. But it's like, this is something we're accustomed to, but it's just never been at this magnitude. Like, it's like everybody's playing this
So
shit.
the follow-up question, why is it this game that's blowing up like this?
I can't even speak on that, though. I don't play that shit.
You want to know why? You want to know why? I honestly believe because of all the constant talk of Under Night on social media. I mean, like, yeah, we were talking about CF in the patch. Like, yeah, people were talking about CF, but people were more worried about the game dying after Evo that year, as opposed to talking about, yeah, let's get ready for like CO Taku for the next tournament. Whereas in Under Night didn't get in last year, didn't get in the year before, didn't get in when Unio dropped. So people have been pushing for this game since the game dropped, Japanese version dropped. People have been pushing hard for people to play the game. So it's not like people didn't know they were there. It's just it got, like I said, it got more vocal as after every tournament they had a real good showing or real good top 8. It got more vocal, and it just kind of it just kept increasing. It kept increasing. So for last Tuesday, to know that everyone's obviously waiting for the lineup, you could just see all the Under Night players like, yo, I hope Under Night gets announced, or I hope, something happens, or like, if it doesn't get announced, don't be mad, just keep playing. So, you already kind of have that thick air in the going around with everyone on social media about Under Night. And then once Under Night gets announced, and not only is it announced, it's the last game announced, so everybody's eyes are already on it. It's just like it just kind of exploded.
That shit was strategic, though.
Yeah, it was great.
Knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. All right, last sentiments, wrapping this segment up. Anybody else have anything else they'd like to express regarding
that's everything on my part.
Blow up.
Nope, all good.
All right, yeah, I think I'm good on this shit. I'll be glad when this topic is buried and is put in a crypt, so I never have to hear these shills anymore. I'll be glad when that happens. All right. Okay, so my next topic. Every week, what I'd like to do is a little bit of a weekend preview, because there's a lot of other things, not even just FGC related, going into that. So this would be a good segment to like talk about tournaments that'll either be streamed or you'll be attending during that weekend, or just stuff that's going on in general. This weekend, March 8th to the 10th, is a really big weekend. There's a lot of shit going on, dog. So
is this like the first push of this year's season?
I wasn't really necessarily talking about that. It might be. I'm actually kind of behind on that, so I need to do my research.
I don't know either.
But what I was talking about is just like from a pop culture standpoint, there's a lot of shit going on. For one, on Friday, DMC5 releases.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's a thing. Like that's a huge thing.
I'll be MIA for the rest of the weekend once that drops.
So DMC5 is definitely a thing that's going to be dropping on Friday, and then also dropping on Friday. Technically tomorrow afternoon, we have the next Marvel Studios film, Captain Marvel. So that is also being dropped this weekend, which is going to be a pretty big thing. I personally have not seen or heard any of the reviews on the film. I've been trying to avoid them for spoiler purposes, but it's getting a mixed bag from what I heard. I heard some people really like it, and I heard some people think it's trash. So, we'll see how that going. But also this weekend on Friday, the Galaxy S10, Samsung Galaxy S10 drops.
Dang, that's Friday. Holy shit.
Yeah, all 3 variants, the Galaxy Buds and the the Galaxy Fit or whatever, the new smartwatch. All those drop on Friday also. So there is a lot of things going on this weekend in the world of pop culture and tech. Yeah, we already know Greg's gonna be on that DMC5 tip. I'm definitely gonna be playing that shit. So, on this, I'll probably stream it on this channel or whatever.
I'll probably be streaming it too.
Is anybody else playing DMC5? Is anybody else hyped for it? Does anybody care?
Nope.
I want to see the story.
I don't. I literally have not cared since like maybe the second game.
DMC5.
I think this is actually one of. I think this is one of the like games from the past generation that people have been like asking for since the last game that I'm actually hyped for, like Kingdom Hearts, whatever. I'm still playing Kingdom Hearts, and I have like no desire to really finish it. Final Fantasy 15 washed. Who cares about that? But like DMC 5 getting announced, like ever since that got announced last year, that definitely has been on my radar since that trailer has ended. So for this Friday to be coming and actually be like the game itself plays well from the demo, and everyone pretty much so far, like the reviews, I saw the scores of reviews, and pretty much all of it was like either 9. I think it was like 1, maybe 1, 8, but everything was like 9 or 10, like across the board. So to see that just solidifies that this is like, you know, well worth a purchase, and Capcom is kind of doing fine outside of the fighting game department still.
Yeah, me personally, I'm a Devil May Cry fan, and I have to be honest with you guys, I am not in the least bit hyped for DMC5. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the art style. I really don't like the art style and the direction the game is going to.
I can agree with that.
I understand that it's the director and he wants a more realistic take on the game, and so they're using like mocap actors and stuff like that, and they're trying to model the old characters based upon like real human beings. So maybe that's a part of it, but I don't know, man. Like I remember being a lot more excited for DMC4 when I was in college when that game came out. But like
I remember being hyped for that.
Yeah, maybe because it's been so long since we've got a true successor to the Devil May Cry franchise, I'm not that big on it. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm definitely still gonna play the game. Like I have it pre-ordered and all that through Amazon, but I don't know. I'm
actually downloading my right now to Steam.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just
I'm very curious about where the story's going.
Devil May Cry has a story.
Dante's gonna die.
I thought it was a button masher.
Damn.
I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it.
See, this is how you know people ain't gone that deep into the lore.
I figured you just swiped at demons and tried not to get hit.
I mean, there's a story there, but it's not that deep. But it's still really. I mean, I think this one out of all the DMCs is probably the most interesting story-wise because it's built up so much with you know, 1, 2, well, not really 2. Even though they shoehorn 2 into the actual main timeline, so now it actually does exist. But not adding 2, 1, 3, and 4, specifically 4, and how 4 left off, and then we got left with that whack DMC. Yeah, 5 story-wise is kind of I wouldn't say interesting, but it definitely is huge considering how it should clear up everything that's been going on between Dante, Nero, and all the other entered entities of the series.
Yeah, Devil May Cry won't have that story.
That shit stopped having a story after DMC3, bro.
Yeah, the first one was the best story.
The first one.
I mean, 4 had a story.
I can see that.
That shit was fire. And then everything else was just like whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh man, discredited 4 so quick. He said, "Nah."
I mean, I like 4 and all that, but that shit, it was the most non-story driven game ever.
4 is a game. So yeah, 4 is a game. I definitely gave it shit when I first played it because I saw it as like, yo, I'm just playing Mario Kart. I'm going one way and then I'm just going reverse. Like, I don't want this.
That's the Capcom stigma because they be doing that shit in Resident Evil too.
The story is kind of like whatever, but it's kind of there. But now like I have to go and revisit 4 because as a game standpoint, like it's definitely the most well diverse out of the DMC series, even more than 3. It kind of like takes 3's formula and just refines it. So I have to go back and like actually fool around with it because 4 is kind of wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna play it, man. But I don't know. I'm not. Capcom, they're literally gonna have to like pay me to get excited for their games. I don't know what it is though. Like the luster has just been lost. I can't even tell you the last Capcom game I was legitimately pressed and excited to play.
RE2 and DMC5 have definitely been the last 2 that I'm like really like happy for.
I know you were excited to play the Final Fantasy 15, Kyle.
That game was omega trash. It's sad that like that's probably the last Final Fantasy number we're gonna get, bro. It's gonna end there. It's gonna end on that note. These dudes spent like a decade and a half creating garbage. You know the budget on that fucking game? Yeah, I can't. That's a whole nother topic, man. That's a whole nother topic.
He said the game's not done. Wait.
It isn't.
Months.
Yeah,
it's not.
You get some DLC.
Half the game is DLC.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That shit launched incomplete. it launched incomplete though. It that I could
I'm
talk
still-
about
I'm
that.
still
We got
dying.
tired of waiting. We all got tired of waiting for the damn game.
That's
And
fucking
they're like, all right,
crazy,
fine,
man.
here.
That's fucking crazy, dog. These dudes, they gotta stop getting away with that shit. Square ain't the only people guilty of that, releasing beta games. Like, I've had enough.
It's like
I've
a
had enough of beta
staple
games.
nowadays.
Like, it's the thing. It's like, oh, we're just gonna
It's
release
the
what we
meta.
got
You
now
have to.
because we just gonna patch it later. So fuck it. They're gonna buy
Yeah.
it. They're gonna buy
I mean,
it anyway.
think about it. If you can get free game testers, why not?
That's crazy.
Instead of paying people like back in the day.
That's extremely.
They're paying you to play it.
Exactly. No, you're
You're paying them.
them.
You're paying them to test
Yeah.
their game. Yeah, you're paying them
Yeah.
to test their game, man. That's
That's
toxic.
that's
yo.
smart logic to me.
That's toxic.
Shit.
Oh,
I
my
don't want to talk
goodness.
about this. This shit's gonna make me salty. I'm good on that, yo. Is anybody other than me seeing Captain Marvel this weekend? Is anybody excited for Captain Marvel? Does anybody care?
I don't care, but when you going, I'll go
That's
watch it with
crazy.
you.
I am like ecstatic, bro. Like I'm
Yeah,
about
well.
to I'm about to piss myself with excitement for this movie.
I am so sorry for you, but
It
anyways,
is my
I'm
favorite
so out of the loop of Marvel.
superhero heroine. It's not even about like the franchise. It's about her. Like
That's
you know what
fair.
I mean? I hope they do her justice, bro.
When's the
Please don't
Avengers
let this shit
movie?
be trash. April 27th. I want to say. You got it's like less than a month now, man. You got like about a
so
month.
long.
Yeah, about a month.
I just want the series to be done.
Yeah, you got about a month.
I know whatever's on that end credits is going to be godlike. I already know.
Are you talking about for Captain Marvel or for the Avengers film?
Captain Marvel.
Watch they just don't put shit.
Yeah,
I'll be pissed.
Honestly, I don't expect the end credit scene to be that crazy. I expect it to be her coming to Earth. That's me personally.
That's good. That's really
my-
good.
She's just gonna meet up with
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
He disappeared though.
I mean,
He
they're
does.
allowed to. They're just about to be like, "Oh, he's here to meet you.
Yeah,
He's
he's
just
Dust,
gonna show up."
Even if it's
he's Dust
anything
Boy.
Avengers related, I'll still really like it.
Yeah, he's Dust Boy, yo.
Just like the end of Ant-Man and Wasp. That was really
Nah.
good.
I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm probably gonna see this film 3 times this weekend. I'm gonna see that shit tomorrow. I'm probably gonna see that shit on Friday, and I'm probably gonna see that shit Saturday or Sunday.
Comes out tomorrow.
Well, they have the pre-screenings or whatever. You know, they do the like.
What
midday
time?
thing.
I'll be there.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Like my ticket, I have an IMAX ticket for 7 p.m. That shit was sold out. Like every showing was like sold out. Like it was
Not go
hard
there
for me-
anyway, Nick.
It was
Demand
hard for
receipt.
it was hard for me to get the ticket that I got. Like it was kind of crazy because
Just kick somebody out the seat next
I was,
to Kyle, Nick.
I was gonna book like mass tickets to try to get people to go, but there were like no seats, and I was like really surprised. I wasn't expecting that because it's freaking Captain Marvel. Like there's been like the PR has been really low on it until like now that it's like about to come out. Like they've been boosting up and pushing out the trailers and shit like
Yikes.
that, but they really haven't. Yeah, you're seeing the seats, right?
Ugh.
Yeah, like it's like sold out. And I looked at Tyson's, I looked at Hoffman, like I looked at multiple theaters. Like it's gone, yo.
Eesh.
Like
I mean, I could see it at the Hoffman, but I have to sit directly
like right in
against
front of the screen. Yeah, that's all that was left.
or be handicapped.
Yeah, you gotta put a helmet on, bro.
break my legs to see Captain Marvel.
Oh man, yeah, man. But I'm omega hype for that. I understand that everybody is like meh on the film. That's fine, but that's my girl. So
EJ, you trying to see this joint at 1:30 in the morning?
yikes.
What?
I know we probably gonna fuck with it on Friday, yo.
I'll definitely go Friday.
So yeah, Friday's probably the best.
Tomorrow.
If they got any seats open, because Hoffman
Let's check.
has reserved seating.
Yeah, I didn't even check for Friday, bro. I didn't even check. Like
12:15.
But
You
like
already know.
Friday is more flexible though, cause like I don't have to worry about work on Saturday, so it's like whatever. We can go to the late show. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Like we can literally do that. Anybody copping that S10? Is anybody copping the new Samsung phone?
You already know.
I
I'm
think
about
the
to
phone.
upgrade.
I think the phone looks gorgeous. I feel like the specs are really great, but I need that pen, dog. I need the S Pen. I actually
The
use
pen
that
is
shit.
amazing. It changed the phone game forever for me.
I actually use that shit.
I use it in class every single day.
Yeah.
So
Granted, if the S10 regular had the S Pen, I'd probably upgrade immediately because off battery life alone, I constitute an upgrade. But that screen ratio is kind of freaking ridiculous, bro. Like
Yeah, I was about to say for you, it would not be a bad upgrade because That
Yeah,
battery be destroying you.
Yeah, my phone is falling apart, bro. I really hate the pullback on battery life because of the whole Note 7 debacle, man. It doesn't make sense. Why is the Note 8 battery smaller than the S8?
How's the Note 9?
Note 9's godlike.
Godlike.
It's a good ass phone.
Good, because that's my next phone.
Yeah, it's a solid ass phone, yo, and it's got a bigger battery. Like, you're good.
Take
You're
it
good.
from Nick. It's a good phone.
Yeah, it's a good phone, yo. Definitely a really good flagship, and it held up pretty well too over the test of time because we know how smartphones do. You know, as time goes on, they start to perform increasingly more terrible. So, yeah, I don't know. I know me personally though I would not be picking up the S10. I will definitely be picking up a pair of Galaxy Buds because I've heard amazing things about them.
I'm good.
Like amazing things. Like I already have my pair of Icon X 2018s. And they're pretty solid. Wireless earbud, but you're telling me that it's lighter now, it's more compact, you have wireless charging on them, and it's a longer battery life? I'm sold, man. $130? What? Son.
When am I getting AirPod 2s?
Apple, man, they're about to push them bitches out like like next month, though. They're like, oh, Galaxy Buds, we can do that. You know what I mean?
AirPod 2s.
I just like the fact that AirPods have become such a meme, dog. Like as a race, right? As a species, we can all agree that people wearing AirPods look like tools. That I'm so proud.
They look garbage.
I'm so proud of the human race for collectively deciding that. You know what I mean? It is the attire of douchebags.
Looks like trash.
They sound like trash too.
What?
Kidding.
No, I don't.
I've heard a lot of negative things about the sound quality.
I have not heard one good thing about the sound quality.
Crazy.
I heard. Okay, so I'll tell you what I hear. The most common thing I hear is that it would be better if it had gels. That's what I heard.
That's already a no because they don't have gels. Why would I even buy these?
Yeah, I'm good on that.
They can legit.
I hate gels.
They can legit have the same shape. Just put a freaking cone on them, dog. I don't know. I don't know, man.
That's a no-go for me, Chief.
I just hate the shit dragging out your ear. Like, the fuck?
Like, I already don't like earbuds. So if you don't have gels or something, I don't have a reason to buy crap.
Them gels look like broken Q-tips, bro. Like, I'll keep it real.
Just in your ear, bro.
Them gels look like broken Q-tips, man. Like, honestly. It's literally following the same stigma as, like, if you remember, I don't know, my age is showing now. When Bluetooth first came out, like the little Bluetooth headset, dog, that you would have on the one side, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you go to the barbershop and you get your lineup real crispy, you're going to see one dude in the barbershop at the corner that's going to be on a Bluetooth. He's going to
always got the little earpiece.
He's going to be between the ages of like 45 and 60. You know what I mean? He's going to have his little side hustle going on. His bag's going to be full of like perfumes and stuff. He's going to try to pull it off on you. But he's going to have his Bluetooth in. You're going to understand what I'm talking about.
It's going to be like the guy, the Beijing man. He said, ah ha ha.
He's a football player.
He said, it's like tapping that joint. He said, hold on, Chuck.
Yeah. Oh my god. Son, yo, Beijing is an issue, dog. Like, I didn't realize it was as big as it is now, man. So, like, recently they had that interview with R. Kelly or whatever after they caught him.
The one where they had the meltdown?
Yeah, my man's entire lineup was Beijing, bro.
Yeah.
If they would have dunked his head in some water, man, I'm telling you, that would have been gone, bro. He'd been bald-headed, man.
He'd have been the real drip god.
I'm telling you, yo. Beijing is such an issue now. Like,
people were fake when I was like, yeah, we're gonna get the Beijing lineup. And they were like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know what that is. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Freaking nasty. I can't put up with that.
You better see me in Vegas. I'm about to have that clean lineup.
I'm gonna legit just keep a water bottle in my bag. When people pass by, I'm just gonna splash that shit like right in your face, though. I gotta expose the frauds out here. You know what I mean? I gotta expose.
Oh, that's fucked up.
I legit can't put up with it, man. I can't put up with it. I think. All right, so right now we're entering into the final circle of the podcast. If there is any topic that people would like to talk about briefly, we have about 7 minutes of show left. I'll tell you what, before we go into that, I don't want to waste any more time. I will say this, I do plan on upgrading things to make this as user-friendly as possible as the show continues goes on. And I'd also like to assign segments of the show to you guys as well. Like, we already got our resident expert on Blow Up Tuesdays, Greg. So I'm gonna give you a segment to go over whatever blow up happens on Tuesday.
Damn, I have to pay attention to blow up.
I'll tell you, yeah, because a lot of times I am out of the loop. By the time I understand what happened on Blow Up Tuesday, it's Friday, and I'm like, all right, I missed that shit completely.
I was trying to stay away from Blow Up Tuesday, but I guess I'll.
You're
the
Tuesday,
caught
man.
for, yeah.
Yeah, you
gotta jump into the fray, man.
Too jacked into Twitter. That's what it is. Too busy lurking Twitter.
Tuesday Oni.
Tuesday, you gotta be on that shit, man. The lowdown on Blow Up Tuesday, yo. If there's any segment that anybody else feels like they can cover extensively, let me know, bro, and I will dedicate a portion of the show to you and whatever subject matter that's pertaining to you. We're not gonna talk about your shoes, Nick. No. That can't be.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I got these Chinese New Year's.
Oh my god.
And I got these Have a Nike Day Air Max 270s.
Stop.
Have a Nike. I'm done.
They're godlike. You want me to pull them out?
That sounds
No,
like,
please don't.
I got you. Hold on a second.
Please.
That sounds
Hold
like
on.
some Colin Kaepernick shit, man. Like, honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you, yo. All right, but yeah, the floor's open. If there's anything anybody wants to talk about for the next 5 minutes, yo.
I got
feel
one.
free.
No, you don't. Hold
All right.
on.
I'm not looking at these shoes already.
I'll just-
Anyway,
I'll just
can
turn. You can see
we
them.
take a second and have you guys seen that new esports jersey for women?
Oh, jeez. That's
that
part of
company-
Blow Up Tuesday, actually.
That is definitely Blow Up Tuesday.
Should we save it? Should we save that?
I feel like
No.
you should. I don't know. No, I don't know if 5 minutes is enough to cover this shit. Man.
All right,
I honestly don't. Like, that's a good ass.
we gotta
subject.
save it. Oh, we gotta let it marinate.
We might have to let it marinate for a week. It is.
I actually did ignore that. I was just like, damn, that's rough. And then I just kind of.
All I know is I got home.
Oh, I got some deets on that.
And EJ told me the subject matter for that conversation, and I just had to laugh. Man. I like, honestly, like, in this day and age, that is a no-no. Like, honestly, in this day and age.
Hey, you female gamer girls.
Oh my god.
Gamers.
Like, for all the people
Here's
watching
some
the
fucking
stream,
dresses.
if you
Shit.
do
They're
not
godlike.
know what we're talking about, I highly urge that you either Google it or check on your TL for Twitter or whatnot and see if you can find the stills for the esports gamer girl dresses.
I was
Not
done with my man.
jerseys,
I was done
dresses.
when someone asked like, "Yo, did you get any girl inputs on this?" And my man was like,
No,
"We didn't." But
Yeah,
I was like, "Damn."
I saw that.
That's
Yeah, there
insane.
goes your comment. There goes your clout.
That's like me making making religious text, right? Like
Whoa.
me writing religious text for like Hinduism or something I have no idea about, and being like, here it is, guys, this is it. This is gonna be the new wave in the Hindu community, bro. That is absolutely freaking ridiculous. I don't get it, man. Like, I don't understand it. But I definitely feel like that's a topic that we should definitely save for next week. We can have an entire segment on that shit. For the people that don't know what we're talking about, look it up, get informed about it so that you can be in tune with the conversation next week on that. We'll probably open the show with that conversation. Like, honestly. Damn, we covered a lot of freaking material today, man. Like,
We did.
I wanted to talk about that, but it's like the time. I didn't think the time was going to fly as fast as it did, man. Maybe 2 hours is not enough time.
We gotta run 3 hours.
I'm not gonna say that. Yo, this
On
dude
these,
got the shoes. Oh my god.
Have a Nike Day 270s.
Jeez.
Oh,
So,
look at these.
in the meantime,
Oh,
I'm going to
Look how
figure
clean
out
these look.
how to
Oh
kick
my
people from the
goodness.
call. I need to learn how to understand all the tools.
Also,
yet.
split cams.
Yeah,
You know,
like I said,
you know, this would be a lot easier whenever Twitch fucking adds
mostly
that.
Twitch.
What?
Because then you guys can be live too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
Yeah,
whenever they add that multi-stream.
No, we have
crap.
been in waiting for that for like the last like year and a half now.
And I'm
think
gonna
it's
tell
a
you
meme
what's
now.
gonna happen.
I honestly I checked up on it the other day and they're still like, oh, we're working on it. I'm like, oh, all right. Like,
Yeah.
am I ever gonna get it?
When that shit
No.
finally drops, it's gonna be like partner only. I guarantee it, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Omega Whack.
say
It
We're
can
gonna
be
be
good for
sick.
so look, man. I think
years.
it can be good for so many games.
Yeah. It'd make this shit a hell of a lot easier too.
Imagine,
Like, you
imagine
know?
doing a first to 5, first to 7 on in a fighting game. You're just both streaming. You can both see what they're saying between certain points. Like
That's too much work.
no, it's not. You just stream.
Yeah. it's
I
pretty
gotta
dope.
turn my stuff on. Can't do it.
Nah, I respect that.
You can tune in for this Call of Duty Black Ops 4 action though.
I mean, I can watch you.
Oh.
I can watch you, Kyle, and EJ squad up,
Black
and I can
Ops.
just squad.
There
That
you
shit would be
go.
dope. But we
Okay,
can't.
that's
guys.
hilarious. I'm just saying, when that myth comes,
I'm telling you, we better be on Modern Warfare 7 by the time that joint comes out.
That shit's never fucking coming.
Bring
out.
back Duel Akimbos.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
shit might be godlike.
All right, so yeah, we're pretty much reaching the cusp of it. I guess we can go around the board. Everybody shout out their social medias, where people can find you at. Signing off with my co-host here, we can go around the board.
That was.
Anybody gonna?
I thought you were gonna name somebody.
Yeah, I did too. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not nobody's father here. You know what I mean? People can speak for themselves. Y'all are grown, dog. Tell them about y'all stuff.
All right, EJ, you first. You first, EJ. There you
All
go.
right.
Make it
Y'all
easy.
can follow me on Twitch at LHI_Kira, Kira. I just hit affiliate, guys. Hey, so go ahead and follow that channel. Just hit over 100 followers. Also find me on Instagram at Hermit_Ernest. Post a lot of fitness shit. Yeah, follow me on there. That's it.
I got it. I'm next. Follow me on Twitch at DMV_Graph. I only play Call of Duty now. I'm retired from all fighting games except Dengeki because I'm actually pretty fire at that.
Good shit.
And Eunice now because of Evo.
One of those.
Oh my god.
You can get me on Twitter at Nick T Stone, and yeah, that's about that. So you next, Greg.
oh, so yeah, you can follow me on Twitch. I am at the same name that I am almost everywhere else, Mecha Shin Oni. I've definitely been streaming a lot more Under Night lately. Not actually because of the Evil blow up. We were actually started. This is an idea I've been trying to do for a while. Is just have South Florida lobby sessions between all the anime games they do. But Under Night seems to be the one that's really picking up. So, been streaming that a lot more over the past few weeks. You can follow me on Twitter. Same thing at Mecha Shin Oni. I try not to talk too much on Twitter anymore, so I just kind of lurk and watch. But I am there almost all the time. And on Instagram, same thing. Mecha Shin Oni. I'm not really active on Instagram to be posting stuff, but I'm there. So yeah.
Yeah, y'all are definitely doing that shit because of Evo. Anyway.
No, we're not. No.
Pack it up.
And we frauds now.
Yeah, I'm Master Crash MD. You've been watching on my channel here. You can follow me at the same aspect there, Master Crash MD, on Twitter, on YouTube, where we will have the VOD from this podcast, as well as other content, hopefully, as we come through. I'd like to see this show evolve. Like, I'd like to see the show continue, obviously, but I'd like to see other content from all of us come out of this. Like, we have a golden opportunity and a spot to pretty much put content out there. There's plenty of shit to talk about. There's plenty of shit to show. So I like to honestly see it go somewhere from there. So it's been a nice podcast, gentlemen. It's been nice talking to y'all, but I'm about to end this call and eat some chicken.
Ooh, before I forget,
Okay.
like, favorite, and subscribe to get this sick emote that is me.
Oh yeah. If you sub to the channel,
You can never have too
enough,
much of me
Nick.
zooted in some glasses.
Yeah, it's
as an
pretty
emote.
good. Yeah, you see it in the chat there now. I'll tell you that emote is really powerful, guys. I've seen people get timed out in other people's streams for spamming it. So
Definitely got timed out.
You might want to pick up
banned.
that icon. Yeah, you got banned for other reasons. It wasn't the emote. But anyway, all right, peeps. Until next week, signing off the co-host. All right, y'all. All right. So from right here, we're going to transition into the outro. And we in there. All right. I'd like to take this time to personally thank everybody that tuned into Crash and Net this week. We got to go over quite a few topics, if there are any topics at all, that people want us to cover and talk about or would like to be a part of the conversation with. We will be having guests in the future. Feel free to tweet me right on Twitter. Same handle, Mr. Crash MD on Twitter, like I said before. And feel free to share the VOD of this video out of the archive right here on Twitch, and it will also be uploaded to YouTube. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. Until next time, guys. I am right.